Hello, Miss Udara.
Hi, Mr. Miller.
It's time for video number 15, coin problems. We're actually here in the Pleasant Community Room of the Belmont Cragen Library,
Yep.
right? All right, awesome facility. Today we're going to talk about a special kind of word problem. We're going to talk about problems involving coins. So we're going to go through and review a little bit how to make some calculations. For instance, this first one, if I give you, if you have 66 quarters and 92 dimes, what would the value be? And we're going to work our way up to kind of a really challenging problem at the very end. So here we go. So if we have 66 quarters, we got to multiply them by how much they're worth. We're going to kind of think in dollars. Each quarter is worth $0.25. So 66 times 0.25, and then we're going to have 92 dimes. So 92 times 0.10. And we just grab our calculator and we can figure out the value of those. So Dara's got that.
Alrighty. So you got 1650 for the first one,
Okay.
and then we have 920 for the second one. We add those together. That should be $25.70.
Very good. Okay. Easily gets a lunch for a few friends. All right. Suppose we had 24 quarters and 47 nickels. So we have 24 times 0.25. So the number of quarters times their value. Plus, we have 47 nickels. Each nickel is worth 0.05. Not 0.5, but 0.05. Okay. And when we calculate that, what do we get?
So we got 6 for the first one, and we add $2.35 with the second one. That would be $8.35.
Very good. Okay, last one. 24 quarters, 13 dimes, 14 nickels, 16 pennies. Right, no problem. A bunch of change here. So we got 24 times 0.25. This will never happen in my house because the quarter's always gone. 13 times 0.10 plus 14 times 0.05 plus pennies are worth $0.01, so 0.01. So for each type of coin, the number of coins times the value. When we add up all of that, what do we get?
$8.16.
Very good. Now, we're going to try something that's going to have a variable in them. So, Ms. Udara, we're going to go on to the next one.
Alright, so now we're writing expressions for the value of the following coin collections.
I'll grab the calculator.
Okay, here we go. So we have 26, and then we have 0.25. That's the value of the quarter. And nickels, so that would be 0.05n.
Right. Now normally, so it's the how much they're worth, 0.05, times how many we have. We have n of them. And you switch the order because usually we write the number first when we have a variable. And the only thing left is to simplify the part we can. 26 times 0.25 is 6.5.
6.5 plus 0.05n.
Very good.
So for the second one, we have 47, and then we have 0.25, and that's 47 dimes. So we have, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
My bad, Mr. Miller. Here
That's
we go.
right.
So we have quarters, 0.25 quarters plus 47, and then we have parentheses 0.10, which is dimes.
Very good. So it's going to be 0.25 cubed.
And then 47 times 0.10 would be
4.7.
There we go, 4.7.
Very good.
So the third one, we have 0.25, 27, 0.10 times 32, and n nickels, so that's 0.05n.
Okay, let me figure out what this is. So the 0.25 times 27 and the 0.1 times 32, we can figure out. All of that is 9.95.
9.95.
And then we still have the plus 0.05n.
0.05n. There we go.
Very good. There's an expression for it.
Okay, our last one, we have 0.25 q quarters plus 0.10 dimes and 0.05 N.
Mm-hmm.
And we add pennies as well, so that's 0.01 P.
Right. Nothing we can simplify.
Right.
We have 4 terms there, one for each type of coin.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, very good. We wrote expressions. All right, let's move on to a word problem that uses this now. Okay, so when we give you a problem, sometimes you might be asked just to check if an answer is correct, like the first one. Sometimes you might be asked to write an equation, and sometimes you might be asked to solve it, and sometimes all 3 of those things. Okay, so the first part is probably why people have to get a little used to. It says a jar contains quarters and dimes. They're worth a total of 58.35. If there are 216 dimes, how many quarters are there? Okay, so we're not going to answer the question right away. Part A says, could the answer be 100? They're asking us to check that answer. It's kind of like a guess. And if we can guess, maybe we guess 100 and we'll see if it's right. The idea of checking a guess is to see if we can write the equation ourselves. All right, so we have 216 dimes. So that would be 216 times 0.10. And suppose we have 100 quarters. That would be 100 times 0.25. The question is, does that add up to 58.35? All right, so I'll see. I stole the calculator. I got this. So 216 times 0.1 plus 100 times 0.25 is 46.6. So the answer is no. This right here equals 46.6. So no. So probably there's more quarters. We need more quarters so the value goes up. Now, we're going to write an equation we can use to solve this problem. Instead of 100 though, I'm going to put a variable. That's where the number of quarters goes into the equation. So we still have 216 dimes. So 216 times 0.1, which is 21.6, plus, instead of 100, I'm going to put the variable, q times 0.25, and we need that to equal 58.35. All right, so this is the expression if we had 216 dimes in q quarters. This is how much it would be worth, and we want it to be equal to 58.35. Now we can just go ahead and solve. We can subtract 21.6 from both sides. So minus 21.6. And here I'm going to put the 0.25 first, 0.25q. And when we subtract those, we get, let me see, 58.35 minus 21.6 is 36.75. And last thing we got to do?
Divide.
Yeah, divide by 0.25. And we're going to get Q equals 147. So apparently there are 147 quarters in the jar. Now, it seems like a lot of work, this guess part, but for harder problems, it's going to be really important. Sometimes in really hard problems, we don't know how to set up an equation right away. We got to kind of make a guess and play around with it a little bit, figure out how the math works. All right, Mr. Dareth, let's try another example.
All right. All right, so a piggy bank contains quarters, nickels, and pennies worth a total of $22.91. If there are 60 quarters and 146 pennies, how many nickels are there? Could the answer be 75 nickels? Well, let's see here. So we have 75 nickels. So nickels are 0.5. That would be...
Let's go ahead and write it all out.
Sure.
We'll figure out what it is.
68.25. Then we have 146 pennies, which is 0.01.
And we want to know, does that equal 22.91? And no, it doesn't. It's close.
22.
I get 22.21.
So that would be no.
Yeah.
So now we're going to write an equation that can be used to solve the numbers of nickels. So we have 0.25. So we know we have 68 quarters. Now we have 146 pennies.
Right.
And we don't know how many nickels there are, so we have 0.05 N.
And we want this to equal,
22.91.
okay. So Ms. Udera, let's figure out what these first two terms are equal to.
Sure.
Let me figure out what that is. So, 146 times 0.01. It's 18.46.
18.46. We still have 0.05 N. Oops, sorry. And that would equals 22.91.
Now it's got some decimals, but we can easily backtrack this and solve this. So,
Sorry, I'm doing the basic moves, Mr. Miller.
that's all right. We're totally into that now.
0.05 N, 22.91, take away 1846,
It's 4.45,
4.45,
and then divide that.
0.05, sorry about that, here we go. That would be,
We get N equals 89. Apparently there are 89 nickels. So altogether, 89 nickels, 68 quarters, and 146 pennies. All right. Now, we had a challenge problem saved for you, but we're going to kind of skip the challenge problem and go on to the journal assignment.
sure,
All right, because I think we covered enough here. So on the journal assignment, I want you to just do number 1 and 2. Let me get my pen here. So we'll save the challenge problem for class. Okay, so go ahead and just worry about 1 and 2. All right, good luck.